Okay, so I created this edge, and now I need to change the size of this edge to match my image. So I'll go to the -y view or press tilde front, and I select all my top vertices. Whenever you want to scale proportionally, you always left click and drag on the white circle, and this is the white circle. Okay, and now it's exactly circle. And this is some of the common mistake that my student at the class that I held sometimes do, so be careful to not doing it. And now this edge, and if I activate the wireframe, we can see that this edge is fine, so we don't do anything with it. And the next edge is this two edge, because this is the edge that at the same size, and if I press on the white axis for a scale and resizing them, you can see that the distance between them at z axis is gonna change, and we don't want to change the distance of these two edges at z axis. So what we can do is that we can come to the perspective view and change the scale of them only in the y and x axis. And for that, you can see that there is a blue icon at y and x axis, and if I hover on the blue icon, this is gonna resize without changing the distance at the z axis. And we already talked about this, but now we don't see how exactly are we close to the image. So there is also another way to view your object in 3D view, and for that you need to view your object at two different angles. And if you want to create another window in 3D viewport, you can come to the one of the corners, and if I left click and drag, you can see that I create another window, and it doesn't matter, I can create another window here or here. And if you want to get it back to the previous view, you can hold on one of these, and then if I drag, you can see that there is an arrow to the right, says that the left window is gonna become one with the right window, and if I release my left key, it's gonna become the same. So now I'm going to the -y view or tilde and front view, and also I'm going to view and hide my toolbar. And now if I use the blue icon for resizing my object, at the left window I can see how much I close to the reference. So I think this much is enough. Okay, and if you don't like to use the two window, you need to learn the shortcut, and I learned the shortcuts. I don't like to use two window at the same time. So I'm gonna make it back to the previous view, and let me Ctrl Z and go to the -y view. And because at this view you can't access to the blue icon, if I press select box, I press SS for scaling my object, and you can see that the distance in Z axis is gonna change. So for telling Blender to not resize my selected elements on the, for example, Z axis, I'm gonna press Shift Z, and you can see that my element is not gonna change along the Z axis. This much is enough, and after left click it's gonna be confirm. And these two edges is also can be close to each other, so I select these two, select S, and then Shift Z to not changing it along the Z axis. And let me do it again. If I press a scale, you can see that the Z axis scale is gonna change, but if I press Shift Z, you can see that the Z axis is gonna be disabled. And this much is enough. This two edge at the bottom is also more than the image, so I'm gonna press S and then Shift Z and resize the element. And I think we need also another edge in here, so I press on loop cut, press edge, and then select a scale and scale my edge a little more. And also I think this tree edge can be a little more to the top, so I press move tool and move it a little top. Okay, and for now let me go to the solid view. This is the primary shape of our glass, and in the next video we're gonna refine this shape and also create the whole of our glass. See you on the next video. In this video, by adding 6 loops to my primary object and then changing the size of them, I make the primary object closer to my glass or reference image. But now we need to add an inner space to the object and also make the glass smoother. And for that, I'm gonna introduce you to another tools called Inset Tools, and we also gonna use the bevel tools for smoothing our object. You can subscribe, like, or comment if you want. See you on the next video.